Shalom, 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 yasha'Allah, shalom, Ashar Yawam Kapayim. Happy Day of Atonement. Hope everybody fast is going good. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Ashar Yawam Kapayim. Happy Day of Atonement 2021. Hope everybody fast and everything is going great through the spirit of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushai. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai forever and ever. Amen. Hope everybody started their fast great last night. At even. Salakia, I didn't go live last night at even. I just wasn't properly prepared like I wanted to be. Salakia, so I just started my fast and went in the spirit and rested a little bit and got ready for this day, Great day of atonement. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Shalom everybody, shalom family. Hope y'all enduring. All right. On the East Coast, y'all only got about 3 more hours, 3.5, 4 hours at the most, so y'all should be good, okay? We still got some time over here on the West Coast. We got about 6, 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever, till the sun go down. No, maybe about 6 hours, about 6, 7, about 7:30, between 7:30 and 8-ish. I think the sun is down complete now. That's another thing, y'all. Don't cheat. Do not cheat, Israel. All right. Wait till it's pitch black, sun down, dark to eat. Not sunset, not, it's getting dark. It's just a little bit of blue sky left. Wait till it's completely dark when you see skies. When you look around and you don't see no, what's that color? Like rustish, golden rush yellowish, like when the sun is setting. If you don't see none of that color, it's pitch black everywhere you turn and look, that's when you go back to eating. All right, and don't be gluttonous. Don't be gluttonous either. Don't go and pack your stomach back just because you haven't eaten in 24 hours. All right, start off light. Start off with like a salad, some fruit juice. All right, some nuts is good, fruits, vegetables. Maybe some rice, but some healthy rice. Some brown or long grain or black rice or what's the other one? What's the one, y'all? They make it out of the vegetable. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Right, that rice, whatever. I'll think of it. All right. Let's cauliflower, some cauliflower rice, stuff like that is good to start off. You don't want to eat too big. You don't want to eat too much heavy meat, too much red meat. If you are going to eat any flesh coming off the fast, let it be like a fish or a turkey, like a white meat, something light, like a light chicken breast, but nothing too heavy, Israel. Not too many dairy products. Because us, especially us Judites, we lactose intolerable. So you want to bust your stomach open eating a whole bunch of dairy products coming off the fast either. So eat healthy stuff coming off the fast, Israel. Then maybe, tomorrow morning you eat like a nice hearty breakfast and things of that nature. Give your system time to work back. All right, because that's the beauty in fasting. Your body is resting. Your body is resting from breaking down the foods. And your body is also replenishing itself. And, everything on the planet Earth needs rest. Especially our bodies. Especially in this damn kingdom. So, one of the benefits of fasting, fasting goes on a lot of deep spiritual and physical levels. But one of the physical benefits of fasting is you're giving your body a rest. You're giving your organs a rest. Guess what? You're giving your organs a time to replenish themselves. All right, so just keep that in mind, Israel. All right, so I just want to bring that out as a footnote. But shalom, everybody. Hope everybody's Day of Atonement is going well, and your fast is going well, and everything. You know, not to boast or brag or nothing, but being in this truth so many years is like this is not really hard. It's not really hard. I've been doing the Day of Atonement for going on 30 years now. All right. I maybe missed one or two over the years, but this year, 2021, Salakia, I made 27 years in the truth. And maybe I might have missed one or two Day of Atonements, depending on what was going on over the years for whatever. But I would say maybe about 25 Day of Atonements I've made. So it becomes easier. It becomes like nothing. It becomes like clockwork. Not that the Day of Atonement is nothing, because it's a serious day. Don't get me wrong. Shalom, everybody. But, after a while, you shouldn't, after you get a couple of years in this truth, you shouldn't have a problem fasting for one day, Israel. All right, and we're going to get into that. Some of you might be mighty men, strong women, 2, 3, 4 days, more power to you. But, you should at least be fasting at least once a month, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. I'm not going to try to tell you your level of fasting that you should be doing. That's between you and the Most High. But fasting was a part of our history. It was something we did in a time of mourning. It was something we did when we wanted power with the Most High. It was something we did when, someone died and we needed strength to carry on. It was something we did to try to heal someone. That's why, David was fasting before his son died. But once David's son died, David went back to eating. And they was looking at David, they was looking at David like, why you not fasting? David said, well, the child is dead already. Right? Sometimes you might fast to heal somebody, and they don't, the Most High say it's time for them to go anyway. Sometimes you may want to fast because somebody passed and you need that strength. But David said, what am I fasting for? The child is dead. I can't bring him back unless the Most High give me spiritual power. But the Most High decided to take him already. Anybody know that chapter and story? I can't think of that chapter. Y'all know that story with David. If anybody know that chapter and story, that story, put it in the comment section. But, David said the child is gone already, But sometimes, like Judith, when you read Judith, the 8th chapter, hey, Shalom, Mike Allah in the building. Shalom, Brother Terrence. Shalom, Hanya. All right, I see the family in the building. Shalom, who's that? Romero, Shalom. I see y'all coming in the building. If I didn't catch your name, I apologize. But, like Judith, all right? Everybody can read the story of Judith, and mainly Judith, the 8th chapter, when they tell you about Judith fasted all the days of her widowhood. All right, Judith fasted because what? She was in mourning for losing her husband. But after a while, even Judith stopped fasting. Everybody can read Luke, the 2nd chapter, when you read about Anna. Anna was a 84-year-old widow, I believe. All right, y'all read Luke, the 2nd chapter. And it said Anna fasted in her widowhood. So you can fast when someone dies because of your mourning. You're in a state of mourning. But David said, why am I going to fast to try to bring the child back? I can't bring the child back. The child is gone already. If the child was meant to live, the Most High would allow the child to live while I was fasting when the child was still alive. So, I'm just making a point of that, some of the keys and pointers of fasting, and we'll get into that later on in the lesson. But we're going to open up quickly with the Lord's Prayer, because the Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, 9 through 13, it contains the Most High forgiving us for our transgressions, and that's what today is all about also. The Day of Atonement goes into so many layers. I don't even think I can cover it in one lesson. I try not to be on here too long, but I didn't get a chance to go live last night, which I do apologize, Israel, but you have plenty of other brothers that went live, plenty of brother HOI camps we affiliate with. We kind of got the same doctrine. You're gonna get the same understanding, but you still need to hear from your elders and leaders. Also, we understand that. So we're still in the Day of Atonement. So the Day of Atonement marathon continues. That's why I put that in the title. It's like a marathon. You go round and round. All right, I think HOI Buffalo, I think they was on to like 3 in the morning. HOI Atlanta was on Clubhouse with Sons of Thunder, Priest Daniel Allah, some other brothers. I saw, I listened to them a little bit earlier. I believe they was on Clubhouse from this morning. Brother Yaiquab, HOI Atlanta, did a nice, good lesson on prayer and fasting and Day of Atonement. So the classes have been around the clock, all right? And that's good. That's important on the Day of Atonement because you want to keep in the spirit. You don't want to keep your mind too idle. Between praying and meditation, hearing the word, that's like one of the best, if not the best things going on. I watched a few other camps last night. I was still in the spirit. Watched a few other brothers bring it out, different. I was scrolling through YouTube, saw a couple of different lives. Shout out to LOZ, Light of Zion, or Priest Shalimar and the young priest. They did a good lesson. Shout out to some of you other camps and brothers that I saw. I can't think of everybody off the top, but as an elder, I get edified sometime too, along with edifying the people. But enough rambling. Let's get down to business. I'm gonna open up with the Lord's Prayer, and we're gonna get right into it. Kwame Shala for the Day of Atonement 2021. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6:9-13. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwafka, Laba'a, Aratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Lacham, Ko, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Tabiainawa, Banasaya 1, Abol, Habashainawa, Man, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwaf, Wa'ala, Wa'ata Paraf, Lai Walamyum, Man. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. English translation of the Lord's Prayer in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. Our Father Yahweh which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua, the water Amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kwame Shara. All right, so Shalom Israel, Lord's Prayer, all praise to the Most High Yahushua, forever and ever. Amen. Hallelujah. Shalom, Ashar, Yawam, Kapayam. Happy Day of Atonement, once again, 2021. All right, can everybody see and hear me good? If you can, give me a con 777. Well, mainly can you hear me? You ain't really got to too much see me, but can you mainly hear me? All right, so once again, Ashar, Yawam Kapayam, Happy Day of Atonement 2021. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Hope everybody fast is going good. Hope you're not sitting around mourning and weeping and pouting and hollering and crying because you ain't had nothing to eat or drink today. Sobbing. All right, don't do none of that, Israel. Stay in the spirit. Stay strong. And let's get down to business into this word. Hopefully this will be a good way for some of y'all on the East Coast to close out the atonement, because I know the time is winding down for y'all. Y'all just got a couple more hours. So Go through this thing being edified, praying, and asking the Most High for forgiveness, and just trying to be better for the next year. And listen, Israel, don't just wait for the Day of Atonement. All right, work on yourself before the Day of Atonement, after the Day of Atonement. You know, we do get in the habit of every year, oh, Day of Atonement came. You know what I'm saying? We got to be in the spirit, got to ask for forgiveness. No. Ask for forgiveness and be better every day. Don't just wait for the Day of Atonement every year. I'm a fast and, you know, if you're struggling with something, sin, you transgressed against a brother or sister, whatever the case may be, fast next Thursday. Fast 2 weeks on a Monday from now, whatever. Don't just wait for the Day of Atonement. It's not just, and I don't want to take away the importance of the Day of Atonement, so let me choose my words wisely so the Most High Yahweh Shah don't jack me up, because I don't want to take away from this day at all. But the time we living in, and even throughout our time, this walk in this truth, you know, we get in the habit, we all guilty of it. You know, I'm guilty of it myself. We get in the habit of, I got to get better in the spirit. I got to grow in the spirit. I got to get, I'm just trying to build my spirit. I'm trying to take it to the next level. You should have been doing that. You know, we get in the habit of saying that, which is good, because the time we living in, you do. Your spirit got to keep growing. I remember one of our 5 shield generals in One West, Priest Ariala, rest in peace, rest in power, the brother passed away. But I remember he was teaching us in the Trooper program. He said, always turn over your spirit. Always grow each year, each day, each month. Don't just wait for the Day of Atonement. Don't wait for the Day of Atonement to ask for forgiveness. Don't wait for the Day of Atonement to make it right with your brothers and sisters. Do it constantly. As the Day of Atonement is going on, as soon as the Day of Atonement ends, before the Day of Atonement, next week, next month, last year, 2 years ago, 5 years from now, whatever, always be in a spirit of atonement. Okay? Don't just wait for this day. Now, I don't want to take away from the importance of this day, because this is a yearly renewal of our spirit, repairing of our spirit. But don't just wait for the Day of Atonement. All right, so let me stop running my mouth and get into this good, glorious word here. So, the Day of Atonement, what is this all about? All right, it's about sin. What is one of, if not the biggest obstacles of Israel is sin, disobedience. All right, that's why we at where we at. That's all it comes down to. It's just do what the Most High say and be blessed, or don't do what he say and be cursed and punished. This is simple as that, black and white. So we're going to start off with the old classic. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And let's see what the Most High said. All right, this is what this all comes down to. Obedience. You being disobedient is why you're being punished. It comes down to sin. All right, it comes right on down to sin. Deuteronomy 28:1. And it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. And verse 2, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power. So you see how simple that is, Israel? All right, what is the opposite of sin? Obedience. All right, because sin is a transgression of the law. So what's opposite? Shalom, everybody in the building. Shalom, Yakataz. What's the opposite of sinning? Is being obedient or doing what the Most High command you to do. All right, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right, and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Meaning what? You would be cursed everywhere, Israel. So that's what it comes down to, sin, disobedience. So what is the Day of Atonement? The Day of Atonement is a chance for us to ask the Most High to forgive us of our sins of the year and make a clean slate and try to do better, offend less, like it tells us in the Apocrypha, and we're going to get that. So that's what it comes down to, Israel. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's black and white. Do what you're supposed to do and get blessed. Don't do what you're supposed to do and be cursed and punished. That's all it comes down to. Simple as that. The Most High said what? If you did my commandments, you would be cursed. If you didn't do my commandments, you would be cursed in the city, in the field. If you did my commandments, my laws, my statutes, what would happen? You would be blessed. Simple as that. Because what is sin? It's going against the commandments of the Lord. All right, let's get that. 1 John 3 and 4. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. And y'all know these things, Israel. But we got to put them in your remembrance every year. That's why the Most High does this every year also as a reminder. Because Negroes will forget. All right, 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So why are we cursed? Why are we punished? Why we have these things amongst us as a nation of people? Because of sin and disobedience. Let's go to Proverbs 26 and 2. Proverbs 26 and 2. And it reads thus and so. It says, as the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come. So the Most High said the curses don't come without a cause. The cause for the curses is the sin. All right, so what is Day of Atonement about? It's about many things. It has many different layers, but one of the main things that the Day of Atonement is about is removal of sin. All right, is Shalom Karatazah. It's removal of sin. That's what Day of Atonement is mainly about. It's about removal of sin. That's what it comes down to. And sin, which is the transgression of the law, is why we're in the condition that we're in. All right? And this is 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, have Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh. What is the voice of the Most High? The law. So Samuel asked the question. When Saul was rebellious and didn't kill off all the Amalekites, Samuel said, listen, what does the Most High delight in more? Do he delight in sacrifices or does he delight in obedience? All right, it's going to read on. He said, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. He said, listen, the sacrifices were only given to us because of disobedience. So the Most High said, you know what? Because of my mercy, and a lot of you say the Christ is not in the Old Testament. Christ is all over the scriptures because Yahweh Shai represented mercy. That's why he gave his blood for the nation of Israel. He became that sacrifice of a man of the nation outside of the animal sacrifices, because the Most High said, so I don't kill you, I'm going to take the blood of the animals. That's where the mercy came in. The Most High showed us mercy. So Samuel was telling Saul, listen, the Most High requires obedience more than that sacrifice. He don't want to have for you to have to sacrifice that animal so he don't have to sacrifice you. He wants you to obey. Listen. But that's why the animal sacrifice had to come in, so it can be mercy to Israel. All right, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Because what? When you rebel against the Most High, it's like what? It's like you're worshiping another god or a demon. You telling the Most High you don't want to listen to him? That's what rebellion is. It says it's as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as iniquity and idolatry. The Most High said, if you don't want to listen to me, you might as well go serve another god. And that's what sin is not doing what the Most High require of us, or doing things that the Most High said for us not to do. All right, it says, because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he have also rejected thee from being king. So what? He rejected. Shalom, Rob Judah in the building. Happy Day of Atonement. All right, he rejected Saul from being king because of what? Disobedience. He rejected the black, Hispanic, Native American man from being kings right now. We're supposed to be kings over our nation, over our households, different level of kings and rulership amongst the body and the nation, the general government of Israel. But we're not in a kingly state right now. You barely get respect from your fellow brother and sister. You barely can get respect in your home from your wife and children. You barely can get respect. Unless the Most High, if the Most High don't put that spirit on society to respect you as a black, Latino, Native American, Seminole, Indian man, you're not going to get that respect. It's the Most High that will put your children in order. If you move in a certain way, he'll keep them in order to respect you. It's the Most High, if you move in a certain way, he'll keep your wives in order to respect you. It's the Most High where you'll go out to work or go out to take care of business and you won't really get into nothing throughout the day. You know, you'll have a good day or whatever. Like Ice Cube said, today was a good day. All right. You say, damn, you know, today was a blessed day. Nobody disrespected me. I didn't really get into anything. And you got to thank the Most High every single day for that. Because this society is geared against you. You're not a king in this society no more. So he told Saul, for disobedience, you're not king. All right? You're not king for your disobedience. All right, so I just want to warm up with that because we're in the condition that we're in because of sin. And sin is what? The transgression of the law. That's all it comes down to, Israel. Sin is the transgression of the law. So why are we in the condition that we're in? Because of sin. All right, that's what it is, Israel. So understand that. So this day is all about forgiveness, atonement. The word atonement means reconciliation. All right, it means, putting back together, rebuilding, restoring. All right. But one of the main definitions of atonement, atone is to reconcile. Atonement is reconciliation. All right. So we're trying to be reconciled back to the Most High on this day for our transgressions and sins. All right. So understand that, Israel. That's what we're doing. All right. So we're going to get right into it. Let's go to Leviticus, the 16th chapter. We're going to go with the law. We're going to start with the law. And for this portion of the lesson, okay, I'm going to time check. I'm going to try to not be on too long because I want to give some of y'all time on the East Coast as the sun is going down. Y'all can get off and do your closing prayer to the most, that's between you and the Most High. Or you can stay on here, keep getting edified or whatever. But I'll try to keep it within that time frame, Israel. So we're going to go to the Leviticus, the 16th chapter, all right? To show this is the whole ceremonial part of the Day of Atonement that the Most High bestowed upon Aaron and the high priesthood at that time. As we were coming through the wilderness, coming out of Egypt, when we had makeshift altars, we built temporary altars and a temporary tabernacle before the time of Solomon when we built the permanent temple. But we always had altars or temporary tabernacles that we built for us to worship the Most High in, even throughout our 40 years wandering in the wilderness. So even if we just made an altar or something temporary, we still kept our sacrifices and feasts to the Most High as he gave them to us throughout the wilderness. All right. So this is Leviticus chapter 16, and we're going to start at verse 1. We're going to get right into it. So write this down under your notes. Everybody should be taking notes. Have your Bible, Apocrypha, whatever other study tools you want to have, and a notepad and pen. Don't always just rely on YouTube, Facebook, Don't just lay there on your couch. Oh, I can't wait till the fast is over. Let me just listen to Elder Zabach and what he bring out. No, Take notes. And for whatever reason, if you're not in a position, everybody should be home right now keeping an atonement, unless you somewhere gathering with brothers and sisters and y'all just doing the atonement day together. But take notes, Israel. Unless you're in a position, for whatever reason, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but unless you're in a position where you can't write down notes and you go back to the video later and you're going to get the notes. All right, so take notes, Israel. All right, Leviticus 16:1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, where they offered before the Lord Yahweh and died. That's chapter 10. Remember, Aaron's two sons offered the wrong or strange incense to the Most High, and they got put to death. And that's the significance of the Day of Atonement also, because earlier in Leviticus, the 10th chapter, Aaron's sons got put to death for trying to offer strange fire on the altar. Because what? The Most High was specific with what he wanted us to burn on the altar. All right, verse 2. And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. So he said, look, don't come in the location the Most High was speaking about was called the Holy of Holies. He said, don't come into the Holy of Holies all the time. They was only supposed to come into the Holy of Holies once a year, because that's where the Spirit of the Most High dwelt. That was sacred area. And he said, come into there and offer for the people once a year on a Day of Atonement so that their sins may be forgiven. All right. So that's why this day is important also, because you was only allowed into the Holy of Holies in the tabernacle or the temple once Solomon's time came around on a Day of Atonement. That was it. All right. Verse 3. Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with the young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen girdle. These are some of the priestly garments that they wore in the ancient time, right? Specifically for the Day of Atonement. All right. And shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitre, or mitre, tomato, shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. So we had to be clean coming before the Most High. Yes. Wash your body when you come before the Most High. All right. On this Day of Atonement, just because you fasting and you may not be going out the house and no, get up, shower, wash, bathe. All right. Brush your teeth, gargle. Now, some of y'all, you know, a little bit more over-righteous. You don't believe in brushing your teeth or gargling because you say the water might come down your throat. I mean, look, I've brushed my teeth and gargled for years, and I know how to not get water down my throat. So you saying, oh, that's like cheating on the fast. Look, Israel, and y'all could quote the elder for saying this. I'm going to brush my teeth and gargle. Have fresh breath, everything. And y'all going to fast, y'all don't want to do that, that's on y'all. All right, that's on y'all. All right, but I'm going to brush my teeth and gargle. And I know how to not get the water down my throat. And guess what? If a little bit of water, whatever, slip down your throat, may the Most High have mercy. All right, but if y'all want to be, you know, super righteous brews and you don't want to take that chance, that's on you. But y'all can quote that. Y'all can say the elder going off. He don't properly know how to fast. Water can get down his throat. The mouthwash can go down his throat. He drank something on the Day of Atonement or on any regular fast day. But I want some fresh breath, Israel. Especially if it's a regular fast and I got to go out into the public. I'm going to shower. I'm going to bathe. Sometimes take a damn shower bath. Bathe, then shower. Because when you sit in the bath, you know that some of that dirty water get on you, you know, from you soaking. Then you shower it off. Scrub 2 or 3 times. Lotion up, oil up, deodorant, all that good stuff. Toothpaste, mouthwash, right? Hair oil, beard oil, all that good stuff. And go out into the public And don't even appear to men that you're fasting. We're going to read that later in Matthew 6. But anyway, wash. Have proper hygiene at all times. When you're going to camp, when you're going to feast days, when you're going out in the public, when you're going to class, have proper hygiene, Israel. All right? So the Most High, she said, wash up before you come before me. All right, verse 5. And he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock for the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and his house. See that? Aaron was first supposed to make an atonement for himself and his house. All right, because what? Aaron said, listen, before I can even atone y'all sins, I got to atone me and my household sins. All right, like I tell you in Sirach. Everybody write down Sirach 129 with Leviticus 16 and 6. All right, Sirach 1 and 29 with Leviticus 16 and 6. Because Aaron couldn't be a hypocrite. Aaron said, look, I got to atone for me and my house and then atone for the people. But even when Aaron also atoned for the people, he atoned for himself and the people also at the same time. But he did an opening extra for him and his house before he went before the people. Let me cleanse me before I go to cleanse the people. All right? So that's like, well, that's spiritual. Remember, Yahushua had to be baptized before he started his ministry. All right? Before Paul and the apostles went out to teach, they had to repent. Paul had to be blinded and repent from being a Pharisee and persecuting the church. So you gotta cleanse your mind and yourself before you can go out and try to cleanse the people. I mean, that goes without saying. All right, verse 7. All right, and let me read verse 6 again. And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and his house. And he shall take the 2 goats and present them before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord and the other for the scapegoat. All right, that scapegoat is Azazel, or is Azayazal in the Hebrew, I believe. If I'm pronouncing it right, Salakia, forgive me. All right, in the Hebrew tongue, Azayazal, or Azayal, Azayazal. All right, but I'll look it up again, Salakia. That's the scapegoat. That's known as Azazel. All right, it means removal or riddance. All right, in the Hebrew. That was the scapegoat. So 1 goat was for the Lord and the other for the scapegoat. All right, and those 2 goats represent Yahushua and Satan. All right, and I'll go a little bit deeper into that later. All right, or no, matter of fact, just meditate on that, and I'll give you the answer next Day of Atonement. No, I'm just kidding, but I'll get it. I may get into that a little bit later. If I forget, remind me. Verse 9. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which Yahweh's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. All right, see that? It said, Aaron shall bring the goat upon which Yahweh's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. So they cast lots. Which goat is going to be sacrificed to the Most High for forgiveness of sins, which represents Yahushua, and which goat is going to be for the scapegoat that the sins go upon and the goat flees out, is cast away. All right, which represents Satan. All right. Verse 10, but the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before Yahweh to make an atonement with him and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. All right. That's like somebody commit an offense and they lie on another person. They try to make them the scapegoat. They want that person to take their punishment, or they want the heat to come on that person. So that's what the Most High did to us for mercy. He said, listen, I'm going to take your sins off of you, and I'm going to put them on a scapegoat, and I'm going to forgive you of those sins. All right? That's how merciful the Most High is. He said, I'm going to give y'all a scapegoat for y'all sins. All right? Verse 11. And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Yahweh, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire. He shall put the incense upon the fire before the Lord Yahweh, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. Because that was sacred ground. That was where the Spirit of the Most High dwelt. So he had to cover that. It had to be mercy so that he don't die. All right. Verse 14. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with the blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. And that goat that he kills for the sin off, the goat of the sin offering, that is for the people. All right, let's go to Hebrews. All right, that sin offering goat is representative of Yahushua. All right, let's prove that. Let's go to Hebrews 9. And we're going to get right to the point. All right. All right, Hebrews 9:28. All right. Okay, we're going to start at 22. We're going to read 22 and then 28. Get right to the point. All right. This is that sin offering that was given to the Most High. It was that sin goat that was given to the Most High to be the sacrifice for the people. That's symbolic to Yahushua. The Day of Atonement, all the feast days have Yahushua all over them. For all of you only one testament brews. Like Christ ain't nowhere. That Christ character is nowhere in the Old Testament. When you in the Spirit, and I'm not gonna sound cliche, but a lot of y'all can't see it because that Spirit is not on y'all. The Most High got it blocked out. That's why you can't see it. It is what it is. All right, Hebrews 9:22. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. All right, there's no forgiveness of sins without that shedding of blood. That's why the sacrificial law came in. Now, verse 28. So Yahushua was once offered to bear the sins of many. Yahushua was that one-time atonement for Israel to be reconciled to the Most High as a nation. Now, that doesn't mean you don't keep the Day of Atonement yearly. We're going to show that and prove that later, because Christ said, I didn't come to do away with the law. So Yahushua kept the Passover, but he's going to tell us we don't have to keep the Day of Atonement. You got Christian Israelites and Christian groups out here saying you don't have to atone or you don't have to fast. You just got to afflict your soul that day, whatever the hell that means. Afflicting your soul means fasting. Now, afflicting your soul can also be sorrowful and regretful and remorseful and having a contrite spirit, which is a repentant spirit. That's part of afflicting your soul also. But you have to do an act. Our God is a God of action. All right, the Lord said in 1 Corinthians 4:20, the kingdom of the Most High is in power, not just in word. Oh, you ain't got to fast, but you just got to afflict your soul that day. Fasting is part of afflicting your soul. It's a major part of it. But you niggas want to eat and you greedy and you don't want to fast. So you want to just say, I'm eating and I'm just eating and afflicting my soul. Whatever the hell that means. All right? But you just want to wait not to have to keep the atonement. Stop lying and looking into all these strange books and commentaries. And that's not talking about the Day of Atonement. All right? Because you're a sinful man and you don't want to keep these laws. All right? You want to be gluttonous and eat. And that means you probably don't fast all year round. If you got Christian Israelites out there and Israelite groups talking about we don't have to fast, is that because you don't have no discipline of the flesh? You just greedy? You don't want to go without food and drink for one day? Fasting is good. Even doctors tell you fasting is good for you on some occasions. Like when you go to get blood work and different, you go to a doctor and they tell you don't eat anything after 12 midnight because they want your body to be a certain way when you take the blood work or whatever. All right, even doctors tell you that. Even doctors will tell you fast from 12 a.m. at night till in the morning. You know, your appointment might not be to 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. You fasting for almost 12 hours. Even a doctor will tell you it's some benefits to your body when they take the blood work or whatever. So you don't fast at all? You make an excuse for the Day of Atonement? And you're going to dig up all this doctrine and whatever the hell. You're going to dig so you don't have to fast. All right, and fasting, even if you believe we don't have to fast. Like I was watching some Day of Atonement videos yesterday. Just different Christian groups and Messianics and Jews for Jesus. Check out a little bit of everything. You know where you get information. You never know where you can get information from. And I was watching a Christian group saying you don't have to do the fast. You just have to afflict your soul. But whatever the hell that means. All right, but anyway, once again it says, so Yahushua was once offered to bear the sins of many, meaning Christ atoned for the nation of Israel to come back as a whole. Not, I think I was listening to the brothers on the live earlier, and they said they had a clubhouse room last night saying Christ did the last Day of Atonement 2,000 years ago. Meaning when Christ died, when Yahushua died on the cross, that was the last atonement. We don't have to atone anymore. That's not talking about that. Yahushua atoned for all of our sins as a nation, as a collective. Not that we don't have to singularly do the atonement as a rehearsal of the righteous act every year. And what the hell is the problem with fast? What are you doing wrong fasting for 24 hours? What can you do wrong? Hell, the so-called white Jews, they say 25 hours. They say they fast for 25 hours. They just give an extra hour to make sure it's dark. Or to make sure they're not, breaking when the sun goes, before the sun go down. They'll start like a little bit before the sun actually go down. And then they won't end until it's completely dark. They say they call it a 25-hour fast. So what would be the sin in just fasting? You know what? I just want to sin as a memorial for the Day of Atonement. What sin is committed in that? No, you just want to eat, man. You have no discipline of the flesh. So once again, Hebrews 9:28. So Yahushua was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. So Yahushua is going to make his second coming, spotless, and he's going to appear as an angelic being and deliver the children of Israel. But he's symbolic to that first goat that went for the sins of the people. That's the symbolism of Yahushua in the Day of Atonement. All right. Now, reading on. Let's read on. Verse 16. Leviticus 16:16. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place because of the uncleanness of the children of Israel. All right. So we were supposed to atone the altar, the tabernacle, and eventually the temple when Solomon built it. And because of their transgressions and all their sins. And he shall do for the tabernacle of the congregation that remaineth among them in the midst of their uncleanness. So because of the uncleanness of the people, the temple and everything, he was supposed to make an atonement for the tabernacle as well. All right. Verse 17. Somebody said, I love fasting. A fast. A water fast. Fast on social media. Yeah, Khan. There's different type of fasts. All right. There's different type of fast you can do also. Okay. But a dry fast, a complete fast, the Day of Atonement is a complete and dry fast. All right, no water, no drink, anything. I guess that's why some brothers or sisters say, well, I'm not brushing my teeth or washing my face. I'm not washing my face. Please wash your face, wash your body. But I'm not brushing my teeth or gargling because some water, something might get down my throat. That's a dry fast. All right, a complete dry fast, no water, no drink. But then when I'm going to brush and gargle, and I'm a dodge and weave and whatever, and make sure no water, you know, I don't consume any water. All right, verse 17. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the congregation when he goeth to make an atonement in the holy place, until he come out and have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Israel. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before the Lord and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock and of the blood of the goat and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. And he shall sprinkle of the blood upon it with the finger 7 times and cleanse it and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. Verse 20. And when he hath made it in a reconciling the holy place and the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. So now here's the scapegoat, which is symbolic to Satan or the devil. And Aaron shall lay both hands upon the head of the live goat and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Israel and all their transgressions and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and he shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. So a brother that was in shape or fit, once Aaron professed the sins of the people over the scapegoat and put those sins on the scapegoat, that fit man was supposed to carry that goat way out into the wilderness, way far away from the people, because that represented sin being removed from the people. All right? Just like Satan is going to be removed away from us when Yahweh shall make his second coming, so that we're not subject to sin anymore. We're not subject to Satan tempting us to fall short. That's the symbolism of the two goats. The one goat sacrificed, like it tells you in 2 Peter's. If somebody know that scripture, post it in the comment board. It tells you in 2 Peter's that Yahweh Shai is that precious lamb without spot or blemish. And remember, when you read Exodus 12 during the Passover, it said your lamb can be of the sheep or the goats. So that righteous goat is symbolic. That righteous goat for the sin offering is symbolic to Yahweh Shai. The goat for the scapegoat or for the sins to be put on to flee away from the people is symbolic to Satan. All right, verse 22. And the goat shall bear upon him all the iniquities into a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness, meaning that goat of sin, that goat that the sins fell upon, shall be cast out. All right, let's go to Romans. And this is all still under the law of atonement. All these precepts and everything is still under the law of atonement. Let's go to Romans 16 to show you that. Two scriptures, Romans 16 and Revelation 12. All right, Romans 16. Romans 16, we're going to start at 19. All right, Romans 16 and 19. It says, for your obedience is come abroad unto all men. See that? There goes that obedience again. All right, Romans 16, 19 goes with 1 Samuel 15, 22 and 23. Everybody write that down too. That links up. Romans 16, 19 with 1 Samuel 15, 22 and 23. The importance of obedience. It says, for your obedience is come abroad unto all men. So Paul was writing to the righteous Romans and saying, listen, your obedient men is hearing about y'all. Don't you know, when you hear about somebody in Israel that's properly keeping the law, walking in as an example, blameless, you really don't hear too much about them. You hear nothing but good reports. That's broadcast unto all men. We love that in Israel because we like, damn. At least we got some remnant of righteous brothers and sisters in this thing. Because we all have sinned and come short. Our righteousness is like a filthy rag. All of us. So it's good when you have a brother or sister of good report. All right, it says, am glad therefore on your behalf. But yet I would have you wise unto that which is good and simple concerning evil. Meaning what? You're supposed to be like a scholar when it comes to doing good. And you're supposed to be ignorant as hell when it comes to doing evil. Meaning you're not supposed to know, you're not supposed to have no knowledge of evil so you can stay away from it. Shalom Nathan. Shalom Karataziah. All right, you're supposed to have you're not supposed to have any knowledge of evil so you can stay the hell away from it. I don't even know what evil looks like. That's how much I stay away from it. All right? All right, somebody put the scripture in where Yahweh Shai is the... No, that's not the one, brother. I want as a precious lamb without spot or blemish. Is in 2 Peter 2, I believe it is. That one is good. 2 Peter 3:14. That's good. But I want this one in 2 Peter 2, I believe it is. Where it says Yahweh Shai is the precious lamb, as a precious lamb without spot or blemish. I'm paraphrasing. I can find it in a minute if y'all don't find it. All right, but let me finish my point in Romans. Romans 16, 19, and 20. And verse 20 now. And the power of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai be with you. Amen. Meaning what? He was going to bruise Satan under our feet. Satan will have no power in the kingdom to tempt you to sin. You're going to be like a robot when it comes to the law. He's going to be cast away and cast down and have no power over you no more. That represents the Azazel, the scapegoat that the sins are passed upon. Y'all remember the yeah, I believe that's it, Brother Brandon. The 1 Peter's 1:19. I believe that's it. 1 Peter's 1:19. I believe that's it, brother. Yeah, 1 Peter's 1:19. You and Nathaniel, yeah. But with the precious blood of Yahweh Shai, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot. That's it. That's it. I thought it was 2 Peter's, but it's 1 Peter's 1:19. Thawada Akim. 1 Peter's 1:19 say Yahweh Shai is that precious lamb without spot or blemish. All right, so he's the one that's symbolic to that goat that was sacrificed for the sin offering. All right, reading on. And Yahweh and the power of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Lord Yahweh shall be with you. Amen. All right, so that's Romans 16, 19, and 20. Let's go to Revelations 12. All right, Revelation 12. Revelation 12 and 9. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Meaning the spiritual demon Satan, the so-called white man, the nation of Edom, and all their followers are going to lose their power and be cast out when Yahweh Shah makes his second coming, and we're delivered as a people. And also in these last days, Satan going to start losing his power over the 1/3 of Israel, and Esau going to start losing his power over the earth. All right, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of Yahweh, and the power of Yahweh Shai, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Satan, the accuser of our brethren, is cast down, which accused them before Yahweh day and night. Because Satan's job was to tempt us, get us to sin, and then go before the Most High and say, see how wicked and evil they are? They don't love you. They're not your people. Let me kill them. Let me destroy them. Let me do evil to them. So now that scapegoat or Azazel is going to be cast out and not have any power to tempt and destroy Israel anymore. That was the symbolism of it on the Day of Atonement. Because we still have to do the atonement every year. But it's symbolic to how Satan is going to be cast out. And the Lord is not going to allow him to tempt us, to destroy us anymore. And we're going to be renewed in the kingdom. Hebrews 8:8 and Jeremiah 30, 31 and 31. With the new covenant in the kingdom where we're going to be like robotic with the law is going to be in our inward parts. All right, so that's the symbolism to that scapegoat or Azazel. Remember in the movie Fallen, when Denzel Washington watched that movie Fallen, the demon that kept jumping from person to person was called Azazel. All right, and that's what happened. The demon kept going from person to person to person, making them evil. All right, because Azazel is also symbolic to a demon. All right. Some of the scholars say the word Azazel, when you look it up, they have different meanings for it, but most meanings, they say it means a removal or riddance. A scapegoat. All right. So you got rid of your sins on that scapegoat, or a person tried to make you the scapegoat, like, you know, like people say in everyday language. Oh, you trying to make me the scapegoat? Don't make me your scapegoat. Own up to what you did. So the Most High didn't have to punish us and kill us each year. He allowed those sins to go on a scapegoat, or Azazel, that goat of removal, that goat of riddance, to move our sin away from us. Like Satan is going to be removed from us when we get the kingdom of heaven and in these last days. If everybody understands, say con. Give me a con 777. All right, y'all can't say con because I can't hear y'all. Well, y'all can say it, but I can't hear y'all. But anyway, Salakia, give me a con 777 in the comment board. All right. So if everybody understands, say con. All right. If you need more understanding on that, I can go a little bit deeper into it at another time with more precepts. All right. But anyway, that 2 goats that Aaron chose, the 1 goat was for the sin offering of the people, which represents Yahushai, and the other goat was the scapegoat, or Azazel, which represents Satan, or the removal of sin. All right, verse 23, Leviticus 16:23. And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And he shall wash his flesh within the water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. See that? So Aaron wore the white linen garments only when he went into the Holy of Holies. Once he came out of the Holy of Holies, he took those garments off, because those garments were only sacred to go into the Holy of Holies. Then he changed into his regular priestly garments and did the offering for the people. All right. So, all right. Let me go back to verse 22 for a minute. Leviticus 16:22. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. All right, so we're going to go from there. Okay, let's go to Psalms 103, verse 12. Everybody put that down. Leviticus 16:22 with Psalms 103 and verse 12. All right, Psalms 103 and verse 12. All right. Okay, so everybody, for the most part, should be with me because y'all put the con 777. So from Leviticus 16:22, go to Psalms. Go to Psalm 103 and 12. This is the link up. Leviticus 16:22 with Psalm 103 verse 12. Let's get it again. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities into a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. So this fit man that the sins, the goat that Aaron pronounced all the sins of the people over, this fit man, or man that's in shape like they say, or brother that work out, get his workout on, his dips in the park, bartenders, like New York, he will carry up this goat way out into a far land in the wilderness. And that was the physical symbolism that your sins were carried away, were forgiven and washed away by the Most High. All right. Symbolic to how Satan, when the Most High going to bruise him under our feet shortly, and also the accuser of our brethren and his angels are going to be cast out at the return of Yahushua. All right. So Psalms 103 verse 12. As far as the east is from the west, so far hath he removed our transgressions from us. See that? So David said, when you pray, you fast, you ask the Most High for forgiveness. As far as the east is from the west, so far have he removed our transgressions from us. All right, that's the symbolism to him carrying the goat out of the camp into the wilderness to remove Israel's sins from them. Con? So that should be simple for everybody to understand. Leviticus 16:22 with Psalms 103 and 12. All right, now reading on. Leviticus 16:25. And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar, And he that let go the goat for the scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward come into the camp. See that? The Most High was about cleanliness, man. He said, you just carried that goat out with the sins on it, whatever. Come back, wash your flesh. Before you come back amongst the congregation or the camp, wash your flesh, change your clothes, and come back amongst the congregation. All right? It says, and the bullock for the sin offering and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make an atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp. And they shall burn in the fire their skins and their flesh and their dung. And he that burneth them shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp. Leviticus 16:29. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, which is today, and the Most High said, it shall be a statute forever unto you. It didn't say Yahushua did away with it. The last day of atonement was 2,000 years ago. It didn't say the scholars messed up. That fast is not talking about the Day of Atonement. It didn't say read some strange books and commentaries and much study is a weariness of the flesh. It didn't say none of that. It said it shall be a statute forever. And the New Testament does not cancel out the Old Testament. It says, and this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, which means to fast. And afflict your souls as far as mourning, asking for forgiveness, being repentant. Yeah, that's part of the affliction also. Because on this Day of Atonement, you're supposed to be afflicted in your mind too. You're supposed to be regretful. All right, you're supposed to say, damn, I want to do better. I messed up quite a few times this year. And you're supposed to be saying, damn, what about the times that I messed up that I didn't even realize? What about the times I got proud and didn't think I did anything wrong, knowing I did something wrong? What about the times when I know I did something wrong, but I still didn't apologize to the Most High? I still didn't mainly apologize to the Most High and Yahushua. I didn't ask for forgiveness. I just, like it just went away. All right, the Most High might have forgiven, but he didn't forget. So you're atoning for all those times. All right, all those times you might have said, damn, what about the sins I don't remember? What about the times I didn't feel I went off? What about the times I got proud and I thought the other person was wrong and I was right? What about the times I should have just showed the fruits of the Spirit and the spirit of Shalom, Sham, Happy Day of Atonement. Shamiyala. All right, LOI in the building. Lions of Israel, Shamiyala in the building. Kwame Yashala. You still HOI, brother. You're an honorary member. Nah, just messing with you. Shalom, Sham. Shalom, everybody. But I see some of y'all. These words are so damn small on here. If I don't acknowledge everybody, shalom to everybody that's on here. But some names I could see as opposed to others. But anyway, you're atoning for all of that. And throughout the year, come on, 365 days in Esau's year, I don't give a damn what level you think you on in Israel. There was that day you was proud. There was that day you didn't humble yourself like you should have. There was that day you should have forgave, even when you didn't think you should have. That's a whole nother level of the spirit to be in, Yahushua. All right? When you suffer for well-doing and not for evil-doing, you like, damn, brother's coming at me and I did the right thing. You know what? I'm going to pray and I'm going to still forgive them. I'm not going to render evil for evil. You know what I'm saying? What about when brothers threaten you? Brothers threaten your life. I'm going to go deep. People threaten your wife and children. Hebrews tell you in your face, I was going to shoot you. In your face. How do you forgive that? The average man going to say, wait a minute, hold up. You said you was going to shoot me. Hold up. I got to catch you before you catch me. All right, you know what? I'm going to pray for that brother. Hope he get that spirit off from. Now, if a brother or somebody try to hurt you and you got no choice, there is self-defense. But I done heard some of it all, Israel, and I done been through some of it all. What about that? How do you move on from that in the spirit of Yahushua? That carnal, fleshly man, or just a man in general? Because when you threaten a man and you threaten his wife and children and family, that's a whole nother level. Technically, that man got right to take vengeance. But when it's just mere words, you like, but now you got the battle in your mind, whether those are just words or action is going to be taken with those words. Should I move first? Should I move first and not sit here and wait for this person that said they're going to do this to me? That's a whole nother level of the battle. Do you say, no, I'm going to pray and I'm going to forgive that brother in Yahweh Shai, and if need be, I'll defend myself. I'll protect me and my family, but I'm not going to go out there and do no premeditated murder. But by the laws of the street, by the laws of just a man, because even the scriptures tell you about protecting your household. Yo, damn, this brother said he going to shoot me. Damn, this brother threatened my wife and my family. Damn, should I just go handle him before I give him the chance to handle me? Because, any man will do what he have to do if y'all know what I mean. Don't, y'all can read between the lines. But it's like, though, is it worth it? That's going to be a stain on me to the kingdom. What about the Most High Yahweh Shai? Because listen, before any action you take, you got to put the Most High Yahweh Shai first. Now, what if you go to try to do that action and the Most High shut you down? What if it's not meant for that to happen? Now, that's a whole nother level of the spiritual battle you got to go through. Because you like, wait a minute. I can't let no man threaten me and my family. I got to handle my business. I can't give him that chance. But now that's a whole nother level of the spirit. And by the way of the street and the carnal and proud man, that was me, yo. Nigga could never do that to me, man. I'd have handled my bed. Them. What I would have done, people going to be in your ear. Then the righteous people going to be like, nah, you know what? Stay in the spirit, stay calm. Move if you have to. But, don't what I would have did people. Yeah, and they're not necessarily wrong. That's why it's a thin line to make that judgment. But in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, you got to try to make the humble judgment. And that actually could be putting you in danger, but you got to still make that humble judgment. The Most High wouldn't want me going out there doing nothing premeditated to a fellow brother or sister. Unless I had to, unless it was absolutely self-defense or it was a life or death situation. Now I got to humble myself and stay in the spirit, pray, fast, ask the Most High Yahweh Shai to handle that for me. Pray for that brother or sister. Pray for them that evil spirit come off them. That's a whole nother level. But guess what? That's what all this atonement is all about. All right? Getting that spirit right. And that's a hell of a thing. Because we come from different backgrounds. Somebody disrespect you. Somebody threaten you, your life. Somebody threaten your family. Say something to your wife, your children. Say something about your wife or children. Y'all already know the gloves are off. Y'all already know, Israel, the gloves are off. They ain't nothing to talk about. By certain rules, and even, it ain't got to be street rules. It's the rules as a man. A man right now in this society, you could protect your wife and children and yourself to a certain degree, and you would get off in a court system. Because they'll say it was self-defense. Or it was that, your life was threatened or your life was in danger. Now that's a whole nother level of the spirit you got to try to put on. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a heavy thing. Slander. All right? People want to lie on you. You picking up trannies. What? All right? But all these things, I'd have heard it all. I'd have heard some of everything said about me. But, I take it with a grain of salt. Because a lot of times, is when you feed into that stuff is when it get legs. All right? It tells you in Proverbs, where there's no wood, the fire goeth out. A lot of times people, they clout chase, they clickbait. They want to use your name to say all kinds of foulness and madness for you to respond and for them to get a reaction. But nigga, you're not going to get no money off your damn super chat off of my name. Nigga, you ain't going to promote your new t-shirt you got off of my name. Nigga, you ain't going to promote your Cash App or your GoFundMe or your PayPal or your Venmo off of my name, nigga. Get your own money. You're not finna use my name to clout chase. And so I don't even feed into that stuff. All right, because nigga, you only give it legs when you entertain it. You add fuel to the fire when you entertain it. I'm not entertaining that stuff. I got too much going on, too much to lose, too busy with other things. But that's a whole nother level of the spirit. So when you atone, you trying to bring all them fruits of the spirit onto yourself also. All right, there's different layers of the atonement. Everybody with me? Give me a con 777. So again, stop running my mouth. Leviticus 16:29. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourneth among you, meaning a foreign Israelite that came and dwelt among you. They still got to keep the law also. All right, for on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Yahweh. See that? So it says on that day, the priest shall make an atonement to cleanse you. Keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that word cleanse in mind, because we're going to precept that later on. Verse 31, it shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and you shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. So it's a Sabbath of rest. Right? You really don't want to be working. That's why on the Day of Atonement is atonement. All right? No type of work shall be done on a Day of Atonement, because what? You're fasting. You know, you may be a little weak. You're afflicting your soul. You're praying. You're asking the Most High for forgiveness. You're meditating. All right, verse 31. It shall be a Sabbath for rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. This is a statute forever that the Most High gave to Israel. So I don't know, people do their research. They do what they do, whatever. You brothers and sisters that say, you're not keeping the Day of Atonement. We off because we do it. We're fasting. All right, knock yourself out. I'm not even going to get into the negative back and forth. It's whatever. All right, you don't do it, you don't do it. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And that's not even to say you're not serving the Lord, but we just have a disagreement in whether we should still fast and acknowledge this day. You don't fast and acknowledge this day, that's on you. Whatever research, deep scholarship you've done, whatever Christian/Israelite doctrine you have, where you saying, no, we not under them Mosaic laws no more, knock yourself out. But please don't come for us, though. Do more of proving that your doctrine is solid than coming for us that's keeping it. Leave us alone. Because we leaving y'all alone. We ain't really bothering y'all. You don't want to keep it, that's on you. You don't see us making a whole bunch of... We might mention it as we're doing a lesson, but that's it. We're not really coming for y'all. That's between y'all and the Most High. All right, but anyway, reading on, verse 32, Leviticus 16:32. And the priest whom he shall anoint and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead shall make the atonement and shall put on the linen cloths, even the holy garments, when he went into the Holy of Holies. Verse 33, and he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the congregation and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priests and for all the people of the congregation, meaning a reconciliation, a cleansing, a renewal. All right? Verse 34, and this shall be an everlasting statute unto you to make an atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once in a year. Or it's like once a year. All right? And he did as the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses. See that? So that verse 34 is a cold cut. I mean, I don't know what else you're going to get out of. And this shall be an everlasting statute. I don't know what else you're going to get out there. Everlasting means everlasting. I don't know what else you're going to get out of that. All right, so you got to understand that this is what the Most High said for Israel to do. Make an atonement forever, amen. Kwam Yashala. All right, so let's go from there. That was Leviticus, the 16th chapter. Let's go to Exodus chapter 30. All right, let's go to Exodus chapter 30, and we're going to start at verse 1. All right, Exodus chapter 30 and verse 1. All right. Hope everybody's in the spirit. Good way to spend your atonement. You know, constantly in the word and the scriptures. Good way to spend the atonement. And we're going to continue on through the spirit. All right. All right. Exodus 30 and 1. And thou shalt make an altar to burn incense upon of shittim wood shalt thou make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 scores shall it be, and 2 cubits, and 2 cubits shall be the height thereof. The horns thereof shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with pure gold. The top thereof and the sides thereof round about, and the horns thereof. And thou shalt make unto it a crown of gold round about. This was how the Most High was telling Israel to design the altar. You can Google images, and it'll give you the altar, tabernacle, temple. It'll give you somewhat of an artist's visual design of what it looked like in the ancient time. All right, verse 4. And 2 golden rings shalt thou make to it under the crown of it. By the 2 corners thereof, upon the 2 sides of it shalt thou make it, and they shall be for places for the staves to bear withal, meaning for the men to carry it. All right, if we had to move, remember we was in the wilderness, so if we had to move throughout the wilderness, they had to carry the altars that we made. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with thee. And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. When he dresseth the lamps, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lighteth the lamps at even, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before Yahweh throughout your generations. Verse 10, ye shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burnt sacrifice, nor meat offering, neither shall ye pour drink offerings thereon. Verse 10, and Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once in a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in a year shall he make an atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto Yahweh. See that? So the Most High is just reiterating what, we went over in Exodus 16, the ordinances of the atonement. Once a year, Aaron went in there and offered for the sins of himself and for the people, to make an atonement, a reconciliation, or to atone, reconcile, or restore us back to the Most High. All right? Almost like on your job, you might have to renew something every year, or if you have a license in certain things, you got to renew it, or if you have a certain medical insurance, you got to renew it every year. That's what we do. We renew ourselves with the Most High every year. Most High said, come before me, man. Examine yourself and come before me, and let's get a clean slate for the next year. All right. Verse 11, Exodus 30 and 11. And the Lord spake unto Moshe, saying, when thou takest the sum of the children of Israel, after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto the Lord. When thou numberest them, that there be no plague among them, when thou numberest them. So the Most High said, give a ransom, or do like a physical payment for your soul as the symbolic sacrifice of fasting and afflicting your soul that you're doing. Do something physical as a ransom for your soul also. It was just a physical act of something spiritual. That's all. Verse 13. This they shall give everyone that passeth among them that are numbered, half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. A shekel is 20 gerahs. I believe when you look it up, it's like between 55 to 75 cents nowadays, or something like that. 50 to 90 cents, something like that. No more than $1. That's what a half a shekel was. But everyone was supposed to give that. It was like a physical payment to redeem your soul. So you might say, well, the Lord, we got to pay the Lord for him to forgive us? No, it was just something symbolic. It was something symbolic to the physical act. Just like we ate the lamb at the Passover, but it spiritually represented Yahushua, because we're not cannibals. So we're not going to eat Yahushua's flesh. We eat the lamb, which is symbolic to Yahushua's body. It's spiritual. We're doing something physical to represent something spiritual. That's all it is. Oh, see, the Bible is off. God wants us to pay for our soul. He wants us to pay for our sin. No, it was just symbolic, because you're not giving the money to the Most High. It's going to show you what the money was for. It said, and half shekel shall be the offering of the Lord. Everyone that passeth among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto Yahweh. So, there was a discrepancy some years ago that did we just do it back then, or should we do it now? Either way, we're rehearsing the righteous acts. If we come together and have a gathering of the Day of Atonement, which we should. So like y'all, we didn't gather out here in LA due to Tabernacle's expenses. All right, we would have had to pay for another venue or whatever the case may be. So everybody, we still can gather by social media. That's still a way of gathering through the modern day technology. But like every holy day and the Sabbath, there should be a physical gathering. Or you should at least gather in your home with your family. Or you can gather by social media. Or if you don't gather and you still keep it in your home, you're still gathering amongst yourself and the Spirit of the Most High, Yahushua. So don't be over righteous. Don't condemn yourself if you're not physically gathering somewhere. But all feast days are supposed to be holy convocations. All right, so let's keep that in mind for the future. And if you're just not gathering because of the Day of Atonement, then that's off. Oh, we ain't eating and drinking, so what we coming together for? No. You still supposed to come together. You supposed to, come together and have a ceremony as a congregation. Some people like to keep the Day of Atonement at home because they're fasting. They want to meditate. That's a time that they want to keep between them and the Most High. There's nothing wrong with that either. All right? But as long as you keep the fast and you ask the Most High for the forgiveness of those sins, no matter where you at. All right? Verse 14, no. Every man that passeth among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto the Lord. So, a couple of years we did this, when we were together. Everybody gave their little 55, 75, 90 cents. I forgot what it was. We can look that what is in comparison to today's money, a half a shekel. But, and mostly every year, we did it for about 4 or 5 years. The old House of David, I believe, when our first couple of years of House of Israel, me and Lawyer, brother rest in power, and we would like take the money and do flyers. We would buy flyers, or we would save up money for the next feast day, or we would take the money and use it for tabernacles since it was so close. Atonement is so close to tabernacles. So in just rehearsing what our ancestors did, we would still do it. If you don't do it now, don't worry about it. The ransom for your soul is your obedience to the Most High. You're spiritually given a ransom. Now, if you want to take 55 cents to 90 cents or $1, whatever, and say, hey, I'm going to make 10 flyers with this $1. Hey, that's good too. This is my atonement ransom. Nothing wrong with that either. All right. But there would be some debate sometime whether it was for back then or now. To me, you can do it either way, and it'll be well-pleasing in the sight of the Most High. All right, verse 15. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half a shekel. See that? The Most High is saying, listen, you cannot, there is no price really that you can give for your soul. That's why everybody gave that half a shekel, whether you was poor or rich. All right, because you were, no, all right, you give me 70,000 for your soul. All right, you poor, no, you only give me $7. No, the Most High said everybody give the same. That was the physical symbolism that everybody had to atone. Everybody had to give that spiritual ransom, which is the fasting and the afflicting of the soul. All right, so reading on, it says, the rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half a shekel, when they give an offering unto Yahweh to make an atonement for your souls. And thou shalt take the atonement money of the children of Israel, and shalt appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And it may be a memorial unto Yahweh, unto the children of Israel, before Yahweh, to make an atonement for your souls. See that? So we did a physical payment as the atonement of our souls. And don't get simple. It was just a symbolic gesture, a physical symbolic gesture to show to the Most High. But the Most High said, take the money and use it for the tabernacle. So like I said, if we did it now, let's say 50 brothers and sisters came together for the atonement. We gave 50 cents each, or whatever, half a shekel, whatever it might be. All right, what is that? 50, 20, that's $25, I believe. Or if my math is correct, so like y'all. All right, yeah, that's $25. 50 times 50, $25. All right, let's say, okay, $25. All right, the Feast of Tabernacles is coming up. We're going to take that to use some decorations. Or we're going to take that and we're going to get some extra food. All right, you use it towards something for the work. Or you know what? We need some new pictures for the walls in the school, man. We got a brother that's an artist. We're going to give him a couple of dollars to paint some nice pictures of your HOI or the 12 tribes or whatever to put up on the walls in the school. Whatever. All right, we're going to get some flyers. We're going to get some extra flyers made so when people come to class, we can get them a flyer before they leave. Anything towards the work. All right, that's what the atonement money was for. It's not that we giving the Lord 50 cents so he can forgive us of our sins. No. It was something that, that was a physical symbolism to something spiritual. That's all it was. All right. So from there, let's go to Leviticus chapter 23. Everybody, let's go to Leviticus 23 and verse 26. All right, Leviticus 23 and 26. And it reads thus and so. And the Lord spake unto Moshe, saying, also in the 4th day, in the 10th day of this 7th month, thou shalt be an atonement. There shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. See that? So the Most High said on the 10th day. Now notice it said 10th day of 7th month. That's important. That's very important. Keep that in mind, y'all. All right. Also, on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you. And ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. Afflict your souls means fasting. And also spiritually afflicting your souls with repentance, regret, remorse. All right. A contrite heart, a repentant heart and mind. That's what that means also. All right, so you afflict your soul by causing your body to deprive itself of food and, food and drink. All right, to build up your spirit and your soul. And you afflict your soul and your mind by having a regretful and remorseful spirit, asking the Most High to forgive you. All right, it says, and ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement to make an atonement for you before the Lord your power, Yahweh. All right. It says, for whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted, in that same day he shall be cut off from amongst his people. See that's how serious the Most High said this is. They will be cut off from among their people. All right. Salakia, y'all, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, Salakia, to reset this phone and its charger. So I can make sure I don't go out. I just want to make sure I don't go out on y'all. Everybody hold fast. Come back in 5 minutes. Salakia for part 2.